Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're putting on our detective hats and really getting into the nitty-gritty of what it takes to be a credit analyst. So you're interested in a career where it's not just crunching numbers, but you're actually piecing together financial puzzles, right?
Yeah, it's a bit like being a financial Sherlock Holmes, wouldn't you say?
Totally. And to help us crack the code of this career path, we're going straight to the source, RoleCatcher's in-depth career guide. They've got some really insightful advice for anyone who's serious about, breaking into this field. Let's just dive right in. One thing that really stood out to me is how RoleCatcher emphasizes that credit analysts aren't just stuck in spreadsheets all day. What's their take on what this role really entails?
Right from the get-go, they make it clear it's about analyzing the complete financial health of a person or a business, not just, processing loan applications. It's about connecting the dots between someone's income, their expenses, market trends, even a borrower's future prospects.
Okay, so it's about making judgment calls that have real impact then.
Exactly, and that's what makes this career path both challenging and rewarding, right?
Yeah.
RoleCatcher highlights the potential for stress because, well, you are making decisions that have significant consequences.
For sure, especially in today's economy where things can change, overnight?
Exactly, and this is a volatile time. But here's the silver lining. RoleCatcher cites a projected growth rate of 5% for credit analysts. That's a pretty solid indicator of job security in a world that feels anything but stable.
It's good to hear some good news for a change, right? So it's challenging, it's important, it offers, some stability. But this isn't a static field, is it?
Not at all, and this is something that RoleCatcher emphasizes throughout their guide. They talk about the need to continuously adapt to new technologies and new financial instruments. This isn't a learn-it-once kind of career.
See, for me, that's a plus. I love to constantly be learning new things. Could you maybe elaborate a bit more on these financial instruments? Like, what are some examples and how do they come into play for a credit analyst?
Sure. So think of financial instruments as the tools that facilitate various financial transactions. We're talking about things like bonds, stocks, derivatives, even more complex investments. A credit analyst needs to understand how these instruments work, the risks associated with them, and how they impact a borrower's overall financial picture.
So it's not just about analyzing someone's salary and credit card debt, it's also understanding how their investments or even the investments of a company they own might affect their ability to repay a loan down the road.
Precisely. It's about seeing the complete financial ecosystem, understanding the interplay of all these various factors, and then using that to make informed decisions based on, well, a holistic view.
Okay, so we've established that credit analysis is about way more than just, basic math skills. You need a deep understanding of financial instruments, a willingness to constantly learn and adapt as this industry changes. But let's back up a bit for those of us who are just starting to explore this career path. What kind of education do you actually need to get your foot in the door?
Well, RoleCatcher gives a great breakdown of common academic paths and, no surprise here, finance, accounting, economics degrees, those are high on the list. But here's what I found really interesting. They also mentioned this surprisingly diverse range of other helpful subjects.
Oh, like what?
We're talking statistics, risk management, even international business.
That is interesting because it reinforces what we were just talking about. This job requires such a broad understanding of the financial landscape, not just, number crunching in a vacuum. Why do you think RoleCatcher highlights these, I don't know, seemingly unrelated fields?
It all comes back to that holistic approach to credit analysis. Take international business, for example. A credit analyst who's working with, let's say, a global company, they need to understand currency fluctuations, international trade regulations, the political and economic climates of different countries. These can all significantly impact a company's financial health, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You need that global perspective to accurately assess risk in today's, super interconnected world.
Exactly. And this ties into another point that RoleCatcher really emphasizes, the importance of skills that go beyond just the technical. So yes, while math and financial knowledge are essential, they place, I was surprised by this, a surprising amount of emphasis on active listening and critical thinking.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I wouldn't have immediately associated active listening with a credit analyst role. Sounds more like, I don't know, something you'd need in a therapist's office. What's the connection there?
Well, imagine you're a credit analyst and you're interviewing a business owner who's applying for a loan. Active listening can help you pick up on those subtle cues that traditional financial analysis might miss, like their tone of voice when they're discussing their competitors. Maybe they hesitate when talking about future projections.
Mhm.
Those could reveal hidden risks.
So it's almost like you're reading between the lines of the balance sheet and the loan application.
Precisely. You're gathering information not just from the numbers, but from the borrower's demeanor, their thought processes, their overall understanding of their own business.
So you're not just a human calculator, you're a detective who
Mhm.
also, like, really listens. That's huge. And then how does critical thinking fit into this equation?
Well, it's all about connecting the dots. You're taking in all this information, financial data, market trends, the insights you get from those conversations, and you're synthesizing it all, looking for inconsistencies, potential red flags. It's like piecing together a puzzle, only with someone's financial future at stake.
It sounds like critical thinking is what really elevates a credit analyst from simply analyzing numbers to truly understanding and mitigating risk. Like they're seeing the bigger picture and then making those judgment calls based on this really nuanced understanding of all the factors involved.
Absolutely. I think that's what separates, a good credit analyst from a truly great one.
Wow, it's kind of incredible how much nuance there is in credit analysis. Like it's this field that really demands both, analytical skills and a really keen understanding of human behavior. But let's talk about actually landing the job. RoleCatcher, they seem to really emphasize targeted experience, even beyond just having a finance background. Can you elaborate on what they mean by that?
They're really big on internships or, even entry-level roles, specifically in credit analysis or underwriting.
Mhm.
They really stress that importance of getting your feet wet in the specific area you're interested in as early as possible.
So it's not just about having finance intern on your resume, it's about demonstrating this like focused commitment to credit analysis right from the get-go.
Exactly. It's about showing potential employers, hey, I'm not just interested in finance in general. I'm specifically drawn to, the challenges and the rewards of assessing creditworthiness.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking of standing out from the crowd, RoleCatcher has this, I don't know, kind of intriguing section on building a portfolio of case studies as a way to impress those potential employers.
Hmm.
A portfolio. For a credit analyst, what would that even look like?
It's actually a brilliant strategy. It lets aspiring credit analysts demonstrate their skills in this really tangible way.
Hmm.
Imagine putting together a case study where you're analyzing the financials of, let's say, a hypothetical business that's seeking a loan.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd evaluate their revenue streams, debt obligations, market position, and then you'd come up with a credit risk assessment
Yeah.
and even a recommendation for or against, actually granting that loan.
Okay, yeah. So it's like creating a real world simulation of the work you would actually be doing. That's so much more powerful than just saying proficient in Excel on your resume.
Precisely. It lets you showcase your analytical thinking, your ability to actually apply those credit analysis principles, your understanding of all the nuances of, different financial situations.
It's a way to bring your skills to life and make a real lasting impression. Now, RoleCatcher also touches on something that's, well, it's become increasingly relevant in today's job market, right? Navigating those automated recruitment systems. What's their take on how these like AI gatekeepers are changing the game for credit analyst applicants?
Well, it's interesting. It's this fascinating dynamic because on one hand, credit analysts are increasingly using algorithms and data analysis tools in their own work.
Mm.
But at the same time, they're also being evaluated by these same systems during the hiring process. It's like this technological, I don't know what to call it, feedback loop.
It's like you're not just competing with other candidates anymore. You're competing with algorithms that are designed to identify the like perfect applicant.
Exactly. And that's why RoleCatcher's advice is so valuable here. They actually give tips on optimizing your resume and cover letter to make sure that they're, readable by both human eyes and those algorithmic scanners.
So like you need to be fluent in both finance and, I don't know, algorithmese.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it just highlights how important it is to stay adaptable, to stay informed
Hmm.
about all the latest trends in not just the financial industry, but, the ever-evolving world of recruitment itself.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in, but it's also kind of exciting to see how this field is constantly evolving. Speaking of the bigger picture, RoleCatcher also emphasizes ethics, and regulations and credit analysis. Why is that such a critical aspect of this career path?
Well, it all comes back to the human impact of these credit decisions. A loan isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It can be, a lifeline for a family who are trying to buy their first home, a small business that's, looking to expand, a student investing in their education.
It's about recognizing that behind every financial decision, there's a person, right? with like real hopes and dreams.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And that's why understanding those regulations, those ethical lending practices, it's so vital. It's about ensuring fairness, transparency, and just responsible decision-making throughout that entire credit process.
It's about being more than just a numbers person. It's about being, a compassionate and ethical professional who understands the weight of the decisions that they're making.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the world of credit analysis. We've learned it's a field that demands, well, a pretty unique blend of analytical prowess, a keen understanding of human behavior, and just this unwavering commitment to ethical conduct.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's a fascinating combination, right?
Absolutely. It's a career path with its own, set of challenges, its own rewards. But for those who have a passion for finance, a real knack for problem solving, a desire to make a real tangible impact, well, it offers a world of possibilities.
And for anyone listening who's ready to, embark on this journey, it's clear that RoleCatcher's career guide is a super valuable resource to have. So, as always, keep those minds curious, those skills sharp, and those resumes updated. Until next time, happy diving.
Happy to have.